गुड मॉर्निंग माय डियर बैच ऑफ 86। आज पासिंग द पार्सल की इस गेम में म्यूज़िक मेरे पे आके रुका, सो इट्स माय टर्न टू गिव यू माय इंट्रोडक्शन एंड अ पीक इनटू माय लाइफ्स जर्नी। आई नो यू ऑल रिमेंबर मी एज अजविंदर गिल, बट ये नाम मेरा शुरू से नहीं था। आई was born on the 8th of October 1968 in Military Hospital, Amritsar. And I guess my parents were so glamorized by the white coat that they always dreamt of me becoming a doctor, a dream which I later imbibed as my own. My father was in the army, so I was exposed to a number of places and schools: Jammu, Varanasi, Ambala, Shimla, Nagaland, and even Kasauli for a couple of years. So, my parents named me Anju, and I carried that name for nearly 13-14 years of my life. Just before my 10th standard board exams, when forms were about to be filled, my father flew all the way from Nagaland to Ambala, Kent, and decided to give a Sardar twist to my name. So he rechristened me as Ajvinder, a name which I did not much approve of, but he stood his ground and said that it's a very unique name and you should like it. So it is it is a unique name because till date nobody can pronounce or spell it in the first go. It's Anjvin. So life passed off quite comfortably, and then it was time to join MBBS Rohtak. When I joined MBBS Rohtak, I used to come from Jammu. My father was posted at Badi Brahmana at that time, and I would catch a train from Jammu Tawi to Ambala, taking about 13-14 hours, and then board a bus from Ambala to Rohtak. Jammu being so far off, I used to feel pretty homesick on the weekends, and after a bout of prolonged enteric fever, my father decided to take up a territorial army NCC cadre posting in Rohtak. So after 1 year of my hostel stay, I became a day scholar, and the rest of MBBS passed off in a blur, very happily, very comfortably. But the first year of my hostel stay, I remember that I shared my floor with Renuka, Neeru, Kavita, Monisha, Pushpa, Renu, and dear Nafra. And among my D Hall mates were Alpana, Ashima, and Deepa. I'm blessed that our friendship has only grown stronger and we have bonded better over the years. Now, if to talk of ragging, barely 3 or 4 days into MBBS, and a couple of senior final year girls saw my neatly written notes on the dining table, and I was summoned to their room in the evening. I got very scared because usually second year girls used to conduct a ragging, and I was being called by the final year girls. So I bravely went to their room and knocked the door, and I was given two options कि आप बताओ डॉक्टर साहब, आपने रैगिंग करवानी है या आपने हमारे नोट्स लिखने हैं. I obviously chose the latter, but little did I realize that that was also a different form of ragging. So for the first 30 or 40 days of my first year, while the rest of my class and my friends were enjoying dance and song sessions, I was scribbling notes and notes of OB-GYN, medicine, surgery, something which I had no knowledge of whatsoever. Anyways, after the ragging period was over and I shifted at home as a day scholar, if I would briefly like to touch all profs, what I remember of the first prof was sitting in the hot seat with Dr. Chipper, and he questioning me and taking my viva. And I remember this famous TikTok way of asking questions. And आपका समय समाप्त होता है अब. No lifelines. And in second prop, I fleetingly remember, more so because my father too had lung carcinoma. I remember that Dr. Rohit Sharma used to smoke a cigarette and hurriedly rush in to take a lung carcinoma class. And I would wonder कि सर जो हमें पढ़ाते हैं वो कभी खुद नहीं पढ़ते. Anyways, the rest of second prof passed off in euphoria. I read many novels, we participated in sports, and I had an insatiable appetite to read books. I still do, and I have a library at home. And soon we were in final year. About final year, I would like to revisit a memory because it happened in front of the whole class. So we were to have our obs gynae ward living, and the rumor was that Ma'am Rathi would herself personally take it. So no amount of preparation was sufficient. And just before the ward living, we had a lecture by Dr. Dadu, and stupid me, while Dr. Dadu just turned around to write something on the blackboard, I was sitting on the front bench and I opened Datta again in my lap and I started reading. Obviously, Dr. Dadu, being so strict, he caught me and he tugged at my book. And then, like a jolt of lightning, I realized how foolish, what a nerd I had been to read another subject in Dr. Dadu's class. So, Dr. Dadu started pulling at my book. And if you all remember, Dr. Dadu is the same person कि अगर क्लास में कोई 2 मिनट लेट हो जाता था, he would say, डॉक्टर साहब अपनी घड़ी यहाँ रख दीजिए, घड़ी काम ही नहीं करती, आप टाइम पे ही नहीं आते. And I was very scared, but I was genuinely sorry and I started apologizing profusely. I'm sorry, sir, please forgive me, sir. I just did not realize what I was doing. And soon there was a murmur of laughter in the class, and everybody started laughing. And Dr. Dadu smiled too, and he let go of my book. And then I asked Alpna, who was sitting next to me on the front bench, कि सारी class हंस क्यों रही है? And she said कि that's because you said sorry 8 times in 1 minute. Trust Alpna to count that. And I learned a life lesson that day, that an apology can get you out of a difficult situation, and if it doesn't, then you can apologize 8 times. That definitely will get you out of a difficult situation. Then again in internship, I shifted back to my hostel because my parents were posted at Varanasi, and then I joined MS ENT under Dr. Yadav, and I learned a lot from him. I owe all that I know to him. He was not only a brilliant surgeon but also an incredible human being. When I joined, at that point in time, I was the only girl in the ENT department, so I was pretty pampered, much to the chagrin of my colleagues. In my final year of MS ENT, I got married. My husband is an orthopedician and his alma mater is Amritsar. I joined senior residency in Amritsar Medical College. Then we dabbled in PCMS for a few years and ultimately settled down at SPS Nagar and set up our own modest 15-bedded nursing home where I practice ENT and he practices orthopedics. I'm blessed to have 3 kids. My elder son Jashan is pursuing PG in orthopedics after completing his MBBS from DMC Ludhiana. That's my son. And my younger daughter is in 3rd year MBBS in Amritsar. And my younger one is a 1-year-old Shih Tzu puppy. I remember always keeping pets. I've always had a pet, but this one is special because I learned the theory of carnism from him. So Rohtak holds a very special place in my heart. I hold many happy memories of the place, and after leaving Rohtak, फिर 25 साल तक रीयूनियन तक वापस जाना नहीं हुआ. सिर्फ रोहतक की खबरें मिलती रही about my illustrious batchmates, about Dr. Mitra Vasu's daughter Manushi being crowned Miss World, and many other such incidents. But I always held Rohtak special. Unfortunately, soon after leaving Rohtak, I lost both my father and my younger brother, which was a great loss to me. And during those hard times, Ashima supported me a lot. She has been a genuine friend and an unpaid counselor. She is incidentally a child psychiatrist in LA. And ultimately, what happens when life throws lemons at you? Either you mope around or you cope up. So I found the better option of coping up. I tried to channelize my energies into my work, and just by a quirk of fate, I got associated with a deaf and dumb school in my city. Because being an ENT specialist, I was routinely called to do medical camps and checkups. So somehow that association grew over me. It was very easy to be friendly with them, to be a part of their board, And finally, I decided, along with two of my other friends, to kind of, adopt the school. I learned baking during COVID times, and believe me, the happiness I had while sharing my cakes and pies with them was just on a totally different level. I'm grateful to God. I'm happy for all that He has blessed me with, and my future project close to my heart is that I learn the sign language, because that is my wish. Because I want to remain associated with the school for specially able kids in the times to come. Thank you, dear friends. Hoping to see you all and making new memories in Kasauli. Bye bye.